All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Daytona International Speedway as we kick off the 2019 season in advance of tomorrow's Daytona 500 qualifying and the Advanced Auto Parts Clash. We are joined by Alex Bowman, driver of the number 88 Nationwide Chevrolet, who started from the Busch pole in last year's Daytona 500. We will open it up to questions for Alex. Please raise your hand and we will get a wireless mic. We'll start here with Greg.
Good morning, Alex. Greg Engel, Auto Week. You come back here, obviously you've been doing this a couple years now, and you come back here as as last year's pole winner. Was the pole, other than the notoriety it gave you, do you now have a kind of an inkling of how important or maybe not as important the pole is here?
That's a tough question. It means a lot to all the hardworking people that we have at Hendrick Motorsports, and means a lot to the whole shop and the engine department and the fab shop and all the guys. I feel like that's really qualifying here is all about them. A driver could mess it up, but you can't really do much to make your car go faster. So that's all for them, and that was really cool to be a part of it and have my name attached to it. But I don't know that I necessarily did much to influence it. So that was really neat. I think we had a really fast car all week. Kind of got some crap for not racing hard in the duels, but we went to the 500 and ran up front for most of the day, and just kind of had a bad last restart and got crashed there at the end. So it was a good week for us, and hopefully we have just as fast of a race car, and we can go from there. Thanks.
We'll go in the middle to Bob.
Bob Parkhurst, Fox Sports. How different are you as a person and as a driver than the guy who sat up there a year ago after winning the pole?
I don't know. I don't know that a whole lot has changed. I still drove my own truck and trailer to and from Chili Bowl, and still went racing all winter, and I don't know. Like I said, I don't know that much has changed. I feel like I'm working harder than I ever have, and doing more to prepare than I ever have. I feel like last year, for me, it kind of exposed my weaknesses and exposed areas that I could improve on, and been trying to do that all winter and be more prepared for this year. So maybe I'm just working a little harder, but other than that, not a whole lot's changed. I just feel like I have some more knowledge and hopefully just working a little harder.
We'll go in the back.
Yeah, Edgar Thompson with the Orlando Sentinel. Yeah, Alex, now that you had a year in the 88 car and kind of the expectations that go with it, are you more comfortable maybe heading into this year?
Yes and no. I feel like I was really confident heading into last year because things came so easy to me in 2016 when I filled in for Dale. We were really fast right off the bat and contended for wins that year, and things kind of seemed to come easy. So I kind of approached 18 about the same, and things obviously didn't come easy to us. It was a really tough year and frustrating as a whole organization at Hendrick Motorsports. So I feel like this year I feel like I've improved myself, or hope so. I guess we'll find out when we get on the racetrack, but working really hard to improve any areas that I can. And I know everybody at HMS is working really hard to improve our race team and improve our race cars. So that's really good. But it just takes time, and we'll see. I think it can be a good year for us, and a lot's changed with the rules package and everything. So it's just kind of, we'll see once we get to Atlanta.
Do you expect less distractions and questions about Dale, even though I'm asking one here?
I don't think I've done an interview yet that the first question wasn't what it's like to replace Dale Earnhardt Jr. So that's just part of it. I wouldn't be here without Dale, and it's an amazing opportunity, and very thankful for all his help and support. So I'm sure the questions will keep coming. That's just part of it.
We'll go here in the middle to Zach Albert.
Zach Albert, NASCAR.com. You mentioned the pole last year was a point of pride for the engine guys, aero guys, and everybody that built the cars. You guys are going, Hendrick Motorsports going for 5 straight pole positions in the Daytona 500. Is there an expectation you guys will be back there again, and are you guys going to set off alarms saying what's wrong if you guys aren't there come Sunday?
Yeah, I think we come down here to bring fast Camaros and try to sit on the pole. I mean, that's what we're here to do. That's what Daytona 500 qualifying is all about. So, I think it's what is it? It would be Chevy's 700th pole or something like that. So that'd be cool to be a part of, and there are a lot of milestones attached to it. So definitely here to do that, and hopefully we can make it happen.
Go to the far left, Alex.
Matt Corson with theracingexperts.com. Can you talk a little bit about how important tomorrow's race is, and as far as getting prepared for the draft and what to expect for the rest of Speed Weeks?
Yeah, for sure. The Clash is just kind of a glimpse at what you're going to have for the rest of the week. I feel like obviously it's such a different race because it's 20 cars versus 40 cars. So that's quite a bit different, but we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. I think it's kind of nice to have some drafting practice this early in the week and be able to think about it for a week instead of not getting any drafting practice until the duel. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm happy to be a part of it. I wish we would have had some more polls last year and a couple wins to get into it that way, but having the Daytona 500 poll to get into it's pretty cool.
We're going to come to the far right to Zach, and then we'll go to Jerry.
Zach Tanzotti, kickingthetires.net. Obviously a tough year for Hendrick Motorsports overall last year. We got some changes throughout the team, crew chief changes, all that. Is there any really shift in attitude when it comes to the team this year? Have you really noticed something different, or perhaps you'll be learning that this week?
My team for the most part stayed the same, so that's hard to say. I think once we get into the team meetings and team debriefs, and we have all 4 drivers and 4 crew chiefs in there, I think that's when I'll notice the difference. Obviously, with just new faces and different people in different roles. So hard to answer that right now, but I just know everybody's working really hard, and Mr. H is going to kick our butts if we don't go win some races. So we're all maxed out, doing all we can to make that happen.
Go to Jerry.
Jerry Jordan, kickingthetires.net. I want to flashback to the last year as well, and you said winning races. Did that Corvette race ever go off? What happened there?
We're still waiting on it. Mr. H says we can't run until it gets warmer outside. It was like 70-something degrees the day before we left, but he needs it warmer. I guess his car doesn't like it when it's cold or something. I don't know. But no, that's eventually, it's got to happen. Because I know he has hired some people to purposely make his car faster than mine. And I've got a couple tricks up my sleeve too. So we're both pretty invested in this race for it not to happen and for us just to be talking about it for the last 2 years. So it kind of has to happen at this point, at some point.
So you're throwing down the gauntlet. It's got to happen now.
I mean, it's got to happen at some point in the next couple months, hopefully. He's a busy guy, and this NASCAR thing keeps me a little busy sometimes. So maybe Monday or Tuesday on an easy week, we'll get the race in. We'll see. See, if I call him scared right now, it's gonna end really badly for me. Well, I'm gonna show up and he's gonna have like a 6-second drag car or 7-second drag car. So, no, I do not think Mr. Hendrick is scared of drag racing my street car, but I think he's just making sure he embarrasses me. He doesn't just beat me by a little bit; he's got to beat me by a lot. So, no, I know there's a bunch of work going on in both cars, so it'll be interesting for sure.
We'll go up front here to Holly.
Hi, Holly Kane with the NASCAR Wire Service. You spoke about, Mr. Hendrick is the patience level, I guess, for things to kind of get back. Could you talk about that? Did he sit you guys all down? Do you have a big meeting? What is the motivation factor, for the organization as a whole to kind of get back there where we're used to?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just last year isn't what we expect and isn't what Hendrick Motorsports is. So I think we all know we need to go win races and contend for a championship, and performances like last year aren't where we need to be. So, I think Mr. H just wants to win races. He wants to come to the racetrack and be in victory lane, and that's why he does it, is to win. He doesn't do it to walk up and down pit road and not have any fun. He does it to go win. So we all just want to get him back there. Chase was able to do it towards the end of last year a couple times, and I think seeing Chase do that just makes the rest of us want it more. Probably it did for me. So we're all just working as hard as we can to get Mr. H back in victory lane.
We'll go to Dustin.
Dustin Long at NBC Sports. Alex, in the past, if there was a post-race penalty, obviously the team still was able to keep the win. You might hear the driver say, look, I just drive the car. I let the crew chief and team do whatever. But now with this new policy of everything gets wiped out, so, worst case scenario, if you were to win, you could potentially have your first win nullified and taken off the books. Are you more invested as a driver in what your team does in making sure that things are okay, or is that still at a level that shouldn't be your focus because you've got so many other things to worry about?
Yeah, I'm more focused in just getting that first win before I worry about if it's going to go through tech or not. That's just as a driver, you can't be worried about that all the time. I feel like I'm one of the more mechanically knowledgeable drivers in the garage. I built and raced my own race cars all winter, and literally we build our own chassis and everything, and I still don't understand half the stuff on these Cup cars. I mean, it literally takes a team of engineers and laptops and all kinds of stuff to run them. So if there's not a driver that's going to know everything that's going on in their race car. It's just not going to happen. So I'm just worried about driving it. I got a lot of faith in Greg and all the guys, and we got to go win those races first. We're not we haven't been close to that yet. So I'm just more focused on winning the race first, and whatever comes after happens. Thanks.
Go back to Edgar in the back.
Your nickname's catchy, but I heard you don't like it. Is that true?
Yeah, you're coming with all the old questions today.
I'm new to this whole deal.
I think it's just stuck at this point, and I'm not getting rid of it. I wasn't a huge fan of it at first, but I don't know. I feel like if you make your own nickname, that's like wearing your own T-shirt. You can't do that. So unfortunately, I am stuck with what I've got, and I just kind of got to own it.
Good answer. So mentors, who were they? You mentioned Dale. How much has Jimmy kind of helped you being on the team with him?
Yeah, Jimmy does a great job as a leader at Hendrick Motorsports. He's won a couple races and a few championships here and there. So just being able to lean on him has been really incredible. As well as Chase and William, I feel like each one of us kind of brings something different to the table and bring a different perspective. We all have vastly different backgrounds, and we can all lean on each other to help each other. And we have this guy named Jeff Gordon that works at Hendrick Motorsports as well, and he's won a couple races. So I feel like we have a huge depth of knowledge to kind of fall back on and to learn from. So when those guys are around, I just try to be a sponge and learn what I can.
Any final questions for Alex? All right, Alex, thanks for joining us this morning. Good luck this weekend.
Thanks, guys.
All right, we're going to continue with our media availabilities here at Daytona International Speedway in advance of tomorrow's Daytona 500 qualifying. We are joined by members of the JTG Daugherty Racing team. We have Ryan Preece, the driver of the number 47 Kroger Chevrolet, and Tad Geschickter, owner of the team. This year marks the 25th anniversary for JTG Daugherty Racing. Tad, let me start with you. What does it mean for the team? You come here, you've come a long way since your first race in '95 with Jeff Fuller in that 47.
That is true. I remember we were parked out in the dirt by Lake Lloyd because there's no room for us in the garage. There are like 60 cars here, and it was really an interesting week, a lot of pressure, but it's hard to believe we've done 25 of them now.
Awesome. And Ryan, what does it mean to you? You're going to be your first Daytona 500 this week, and you're in the 47 now.
It's it's very exciting. It's a dream come true. But so he started with a modified driver, and now his 25th season's back with a modified driver. So that's pretty cool. And you know, growing up, I remember, you know, in February it was a big thing. You know, your family, you sit in front of the TV and you watch Daytona 500. So to be able to compete in it this year, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to next Sunday.
All right, we're going to open up to questions for Tad and Ryan. Please raise your hand. We will get a wireless mic. We'll start up front here with Zach.
Zach Tanswetti, kickingthetires.net. Obviously, Ryan, you have a pretty sharp paint scheme for here in Daytona Speed Weeks. You've seen it yourself, but you've also seen it on T-shirts. Is it really cool to see yourself in a Cup car on a T-shirt? Is that something that's really kind of stood out to you so far?
Yeah, that paint scheme is pretty sharp, isn't it? I like it a lot. It's really special, to be honest with you, because you know, racing short tracks, you know, that weekly grind, that, you know, where it's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you hope to get to this level, and to finally accomplish that, be given this opportunity by Tad, Jody, Brad, everybody affiliated with JTG, and Kroger, it's a great opportunity, and we couldn't do this without sponsors. So having Kroger on board for the entire season and their new pickup delivery ship, they got a great new program they have going on. So anybody, even in the Northeast where we don't have Krogers, you can still go online, order it, and it can be shipped to you. So that's pretty exciting. So I know the Northeast is probably going to be doing that.
We're going to go to the far left to Jeff.
Hey, Jeff Gluck from jeffgluck.com. Ryan, from everything you've heard so far or seen, what do you think the package is going to race like? Have you talked to other drivers about what their anticipation is as well?
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about packaging, and I just keep thinking about all the Kroger packaging that they've been showing us. But, you know, going back, being serious, you know, it's totally different, but it's still racing. We all race, and we all are given the same hand, so nobody has an advantage over the other, and I think it's going to create for close racing, and you know, I'm excited about it because we unloaded at Las Vegas, and we had a lot of single car speed, and going back, I think we, you know, have a little to work on to translate it to when we're in the draft, but showed a lot of promise for a team like us that, you know, we're going to be contending for those top 10s, top 5s, top 15s, and hopefully wins. You know, that's our goal, and it's just going to, you know, when I walked into the shop on Monday and saw all the guys and how excited they were, that's great because, you know, all that hard work, those long nights, those long days that they've been doing to get ready for this season, it's going to pay off.
Come up front to Reed.
Reed Spencer with NASCAR Wire for Tad. What kind of effect do you expect the change in the engine deal to have for you this year in terms of performance?
You know, Childers had a great product. We ran their motors for a long time. We got a chance to run a Hendrick motor with Chris Buescher at Texas. And, you know, in the old package, it looked like it was worth about 5 spots. Just had a little bit more recovery when you bobbled in the corner. You know, pick up your speed a little bit different. Maybe where the torque power curve is a little different. But obviously, we thought it was for the better. That's why we made the switch. So always kind of aspired to do more business with Rick Hendrick. He's at the pinnacle of sports, so it's kind of a dream come true to be partnered up with them in a number of ways.
We'll go to Caleb and then to Alan.
Caleb Whistler, kickingthetires.net. Tad, 25 years is a long time in the sport. How confident are you with all the changes that have been going on in the past couple of years in the future in the direction of the sport?
That's a great question. You know, this is a tough business model right now to be sustainable for the teams, but you know, I think NASCAR understands that, and the level of conversation and the level of meetings, you know, the ideas are getting batted around. I think everyone knows we got to continue to evolve and change, and I see that work going on earnestly. You know, there's nothing to announce, so people assume, well, we're not doing anything, but I had more meetings downtown at the R&D Center this winter than I've had in 5 years total. So I really believe that we're heading in the right direction. I think this new package is going to be more exciting to watch on the mile and a halfs. I think, the talk they have about continually changing the schedule and livening things up will be really good. And certainly the business discussions about, how to make the team model a little bit better. I will say this, 25 years in a tough model, I think makes you stronger and a better business person. So I wouldn't trade it, but just a little bit easier would be a good thing.
We'll stay up front and go to Alan.
Alan Cavana, Fox Sports. Ryan, new team, new situation. What kind of personal checklist do you have, like starting today, of things you need to learn, even if it's single car runs?
Well, Daytona and a Cup car, it's going to be different. You're racing against drivers that have been here for a while, so they've obviously got a lot of experience with it. Just get laps and, get as ready as you can be for the duels, and use the duels as something to prepare yourself for the 500 to, you'd rather make those mistakes where you lose a couple spots in the duels than you would in the 500 coming down in the closing laps. So, I just, a lot of it's preparation and having the car as prepared as you possibly can. And, I've been there most of the days, seeing all these guys and how excited they are. And when you have crew guys that are excited like they are, they go that extra mile to get the car prepared. So that's what I've been doing along in my own way, is pretty much watching races, kind of, I would say, listening to the drivers more so when they're talking on the radios, just to kind of get an idea of things. But Daytona, it's a wild card, man. Anything can happen. So it's going to be one of those things where every lap's going to be different. So being prepared is definitely going to be key for sure.
Go to Dustin.
Dustin Long, NBC Sports. Tad, obviously the new rule about the potential for cars being disqualified after post-race inspection, winning car second, whatever, that's obviously something new. How does an owner talk with sponsors and letting them know about this, and what could be the hit for a team, for a sponsor on something like this, whether you win and have it taken away, or you have a top 5 and you're random and have it taken away? What could be the additional penalty with a team, and how do you talk through a sponsor with that even now?
Yeah, obviously for them, the press information first is critical. I'll say this, your sponsors, they're such a part of the team. They're such partners. I think they're patting us on the back and saying, go get them. And we're in it together. We win together. We lose together. So, the conversations I've had with them have always been, hey, we're part of the team too. And we understand when bumps in the road come. So I don't really, some people say, I'm going to lose a sponsor if I get disqualified. I just think you work so closely with them in this day and age to make this program work for them that it becomes more of a team. And same as I would look at a crew chief that gets disqualified. Let's understand what happened. Let's not let it happen again. But certainly I'm behind you 100%. I feel like the sponsors have told us the same thing this winter as the information's become available.
Do we have any additional questions? All right, gentlemen, thanks for joining us. Good luck as you start your 25th season.
Thank you.
Thanks. How about my driver?